Hi, this is Jenny Langley, author of the new Maudsley Training Manual. In this video, we're looking at exercise 2.6, which helps carers to start to think about externalizing the illness. So all of the exercises within Module 2 are designed to help carers to understand the challenges of recovery from an eating disorder. So there's some psychoeducation and also to empathise with those challenges and come alongside their loved one. So in this one, we're thinking about, okay, does it seem like there's two people in one body with my loved one? Certainly we felt like that. So we had our son Joe, and then it felt like another person had come to visit, and we called it Rex. So for us it was really useful to give that person a name. So I would say sometimes things like, Joe, we love you unconditionally. What Rex just made you do is not acceptable in this house. We love you unconditionally. Let's think about how we can move forward with this. And he was okay with that. Some young people don't like carers labelling the illness with a name or anything like that, but you can still think, okay, is that my loved one acting there, or is that the eating disorder voice or the eating disorder bully kind of making them indulge in their eating disorder behaviours? So in this exercise, we're looking at personality traits and character strengths and weaknesses. And so the idea is that you think about all of the positive character strengths that your loved one had before the illness came to visit, and then other traits which might not be so attractive to you that have appeared with the eating disorder. So the example I give in the worksheet is very often a passion for something. So my son had this real passion for football, and then through the illness it kind of morphed from a passion for football into an absolute obsession for exercise. So think about the different traits that have appeared, because it can seem that your loved one has completely changed through their illness, because they can become very controlling. So here's some examples. So some traits are going to be constant. So some carers will say, well, my loved one has always been caring and she's still caring. And other carers will say, oh no, my loved one's not so caring anymore. She's really selfish and manipulative. And so you can see that these different traits can come in any of the three columns. But selfish and manipulative is very often a very common characteristic that comes with the eating disorder. And in fact, with any mental health issue, that can be a feature that shines through. Before the illness, the loved one might have been really healthy, both in their attitude to food and exercise and friendships and relationships and all that sort of thing. They still think they're healthy, but actually they've become very unhealthy. And it's because, there's that eating disorder bully in their voice saying, I'm your friend, I'm your only friend, you're fine, your carers don't understand what you're, don't understand you, you stick with me. And so that drives them to become very ill and very unhealthy. They might have been happy before. They might have started to develop more perfectionist traits. So certainly with my son, he was like that. And then the more and more perfectionist they become, the more rigid rules they become, they can become very sad and angry both at the same time, which can be quite confusing. Your loved one might have been very extrovert before, and really not seem to have a care in the world. Then they might have started to become very self-critical, or they might always have been quite self-critical, but then through the illness they've become much more introverted and very low self-worth. I'm not worthy, I don't deserve to eat, that sort of thing. Determination's an interesting one, isn't it? Because very often people with anorexia or bulimia are very determined to stick with their illness, but before their illness they might have been very determined to do well, healthy striving for excellence. So determination can be a really interesting characteristic that can kind of go both ways. But if you can visualize that determination can be something that's really powerful in helping them to get through their recovery process, then that's that's a really powerful thing. And then it might be about how they look. So carers might say, well, my son or daughter used to be curvy or chubby, or just really healthy and pink and happy, and they've become very skinny and skeletal, or very pale, or their hair and skin and nails doesn't look so nice anymore because of the effects of the either chaotic eating or very restrictive eating. And then in terms of social connections, very often through the eating disorder, the loved one will have become very socially isolated. Now, the really important thing here to think about is that whilst all these character traits have come with the illness, the original character traits are still there. They're just being masked by the illness at the moment. So they will and they do come back, and in fact some more different personality traits might come back through the illness. So before the illness, for example, my son was very much a pleaser, And after he got better from his illness, he became very much a challenger. He would tell me what he was thinking. He would challenge what I was saying or what I was doing. And that was kind of interesting, because I was thinking, oh, I just want my little boy back. And then I realized, well, no, maybe I don't want my little boy back who got ill. Maybe I want this new boy back who's going to be stronger and more resilient and more able to cope with the challenges of life. So you can see that it's not about getting your loved one back. It's about helping them to become a new, stronger version of themselves. Very often, once the eating disorder, once you've got into treatment, and so, for example, if your loved one is going through a refeeding program, or they're managing to get to more regular eating rather than binging and purging, then some of these really difficult traits to deal with just naturally disappear anyway. Others might take a bit longer, and so it's really, really important that carers can have patience and empathy for this. And then as your loved one comes out the other side, so for example with my son, I said, how would you feel if we wrote a book about our experiences? And he was like, yeah, well, if one of other family benefits, then it will all have been worthwhile. And so you can start to see your loved one thinking, okay, I've been through this really negative experience, but now maybe we can change it into something more positive. And that's called now post-traumatic growth. So you might go through a period of post-traumatic stress as a whole family, like we've been through this really stressful situation with the illness, but now we can come out the other side. And many families and many individuals do go on to raise awareness, write books, do fundraising, become beta ambassadors and all that sort of things. That's post-traumatic growth. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. All of the videos and worksheets can be found at www.newmaudsleykcarers-kent.co.uk. Thank you.